It's Lawrence. I want to welcome you to Tantra Rebel. So I'm going to talk to you today about feeling sexually normal. This may be the most common question I get because most of us feel like we are not normal, and the pain of that can make us feel so sad and lonely because we tend to isolate when we don't feel sexually normal. For example, I had a student who came up to me and was like, is it normal for me to blank, fill in the blank. We'll talk more about what is normal and what isn't. But it can be so intensely painful and isolating that it can really get in the way of your sex life. There can be problems because you may have something that you feel, shame about or guilty about. So if you don't take the time to solve the problem and answer the question, what happens is you find yourself in a position where it's almost like kind of confronting a wall, where you come up against this emotional wall every time you're in the bedroom because you're wondering the answer to the question. So let's talk about what being normal, sexually normal, means. Sexually normal for human beings, for the kind of mammal that we are, among consenting adults, sexually normal can literally mean anything. It can be such a huge and vast territory because my experience is among consenting adults, and in my experience alone, I find that normal literally can be, the spectrum is so huge. And in fact, even if you're feeling isolated, the reality is that once you start to connect to a community of people who feel the way you do, who are into the things that you do, suddenly you realize, wow, I'm not alone on my island of sexuality. In fact, I am part of a vast connection. So you can just begin to imagine that if you start to solve the problem and answer the question, and the question is, am I normal? Yes, you are. As long as we're talking about sex with the consenting adults, whatever it is that you are into is all good. So that's where you can speak to your partner, and I highly encourage you to do that. You would be surprised what your lover can handle when you bring to them exactly what it is that you want, desire, and or are into. So I want you to practice just the simplest communication skills. So today it's just going to be simply taking a small piece and having a simple question, which is, this is what I would like to share with you. Are you open to hearing what it is that I have to say? Now, obviously, if you have an emotional connection, you have a strong bond, your lover is going to be very interested in what you have to say. In fact, people generally are surprised when they actually speak to their lover about their deepest desires, because the person who you are with actually does at their core want you to feel good about yourself and your body. And I'll tell you the truth, if they don't, you probably shouldn't be with them. So you'd be surprised. People are constantly surprised when they go and say, hey, you know what, guess what? I actually have a foot fetish. And I would be really excited if I could share that with you, if we could explore that in some way. Now, if your partner immediately goes like, oh, feet, oh my God, that's disgusting, blah, 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 blah. At some point, you have to ask yourself, is that really what you want? If you are with somebody who just has no space for any kind of sexual diversity. And that's where I think that what we're talking about is really important. So as the Tantra Rebel, which I am, I want you to know that it's important for you to learn to express your true sexual identity, for you to come out and just be able to be like, you know what, I really like this. And the more comfortable you are in your skin with your deepest desires, the more excited your partner will be, because they're like, oh, he's really cool with it, or she's really cool with it, so I should be cool with it. Like, why not? Typically, when you are relaxed in your body, everything starts to change, especially when you're able to communicate your deepest sexual needs and desires with your partner, and all of a sudden they go, oh man, this is really exciting. I had no idea. Now we're talking. And you can imagine what your life would be like if you could actually be in your sexual power and be able to communicate that to your lover and have your lover respond and go, yes, that's awesome, and I welcome this. So this is what I hope for you today. I hope you really realize the value, the tremendous value in practicing communicating the simplest things. Try little things at first. Just try a little something. Hey, I'm really uncomfortable about talking about this, but I would really like to share this with you. Are you open? Yes, I'm open. Not only am I open, I'm excited. Boom. Suddenly the conversation is open. And the last piece is I would recommend having that conversation not in the bedroom. Like I would start that conversation outside of the bedroom when everybody's kind of cool and chilled and relaxed and everybody's just in a space where they are open to the message. And we'll talk more about in future videos about how to have those communications both in bed but also outside of the bedroom. But for right now, have this discussion outside of the bedroom. You know, I'd really like to explore something with you. And in fact, I recently did this with my partner, and it's just so exciting because they're always like, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I'm excited. Yes, I want to do this, because the reality is we need to be with people who want to expand our pleasure and our freedom and allow us to be more of who we are. And that is the beauty of sexuality. So this is Lawrence, Tantra Rebel, saying have more pleasure in your life by expressing your deepest sexual desires.